Life is about making an impact, not making an income, by Kevin Cruz. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve, by Napoleon Hill. Strive not to be of success, but rather to be of value, by Albert Einstein. Two roads diverged by the woods, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference, by Robert Frost. I attribute my success to this: I never gave or took an excuse, by Florence Nightingale. You miss 100% of the shots you didn't take, by Wayne Gretzky. The most difficult decision is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity, by Amelia Earhart. Every strike brings me closer to the next home run, by Babe Ruth. Life isn't about getting and having, it's about giving and being, by Kevin Cruz. Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans, by John Lennon. We become by what we think about, by Earl Nightingale. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things that you did do. So throw off the bowline, sail away from safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover, by Mark Twain. Life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% of how I react to it, by Charles Swindoll. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any, by Alice Walker. The mind is everything. What you think, you become, by Lord Buddha. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. An unexamined life is not worth living, by Socrates. Your time is limited, so don't waste it by living someone else's life, by Steve Jobs. Winning isn't everything, but wanting to win is, by Vince Lombardi. I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions, by Stephen Covey. Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once he grows up, by Pablo Picasso. You can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose the sight of the shore, by Christopher Columbus. I've learned that people will forget what you did, people will forget what you said, but people will never forget how you made them feel, by Maya Angelou. Either you run the day or the day runs you, by Jim Rohn. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right, by Henry Ford. The two most important days in your life is the day you were born and the day you find out why, by Mark Twain. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has power, genius, and magic in it. It's by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. The best revenge is massive success, by Frank Sinatra. People say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing, so that's why we recommend it daily, by Zig Ziglar. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's Courage by Anais Nin. If you hear a voice within you that you cannot paint, then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced by Vincent van Gogh. There is only one way to avoid criticism. Do nothing, say nothing, be nothing by Aristotle. Ask and it will be given to you. Search and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened for you by Lord Jesus. The only person you are destined to become is the person that you decide to be by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined by Henry David Thoreau. Certain things capture the eye, but pursue those which capture the heart. Believe you can, and you're halfway there by Theodore Roosevelt. Everything you've wanted is on the other side of fear by George Adair. Teach thy tongue to say, I don't know, and thou shalt progress by Maimonides. Start where you are, do what you can, use what you have by Arthur Ashe. Fall 7 times and stand up 8. Everything has beauty, but everyone cannot see by Confucius. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be by Lao Tzu. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions by the Dalai Lama. If you're offered a seat on a rocket ship, don't ask what seat, just get on by Sheryl Sandberg. You can't fall if you don't climb, but there is no joy living on the ground. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears by Les Brown. We must believe that we are gifted for something and that this thing, at whatever cost, must be attained by Marie Curie. Challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what make life meaningful by Joshua J. Marine. If you want to lift yourself up, lift someone else up by Booker T. Washington. I have been impressed by the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do by Leonardo da Vinci. Limitations only live in our minds, but if we use our imaginations, our possibilities become limitless by Jamie Paulinity. You take your life in your own hands and a terrible thing happens. No one to blame by Erica Jong. What's money? A man is a success if he gets up in the morning and goes to bed at night and in between does what he wants to do by Bob Dylan. I didn't fail the test, I just found 100 ways to do it wrong by Benjamin Franklin. In order to succeed, your desire for success must be greater than your fear of failure by Bill Cosby. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new by Albert Einstein. The person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the ones who are doing it. There are no traffic jams along the extra mile by Robert Staubach. It is never too late to be what you might have been by George Eliot. You become What You Believe by Oprah Winfrey. I would rather die of passion than of boredom by Vincent van Gogh. A truly rich man is one whose children run into his arms when his hands are empty. It is not about what you do for your children, it's about what you have taught them is what will make them successful human beings by Anne Landers. If you want your children to turn out well, spend twice as much time with them and half as much money by Abigail Van Buren. Build your own dreams or someone else will hire you to build theirs by Farah Gray. The battles that count aren't the ones for gold medals. The struggles within yourself, the invisible battles inside all of us, that's where it is at by Jesse Owens. Education costs money, but then so does ignorance by Sir Claus Moser. I have learnt over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear by Rosa Parks. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop by Confucius. If you look at what you have in life, you will always have more. But if you look at what you don't have in life, you will never have enough by Oprah Winfrey. Remember that not getting what you want is sometimes a wonderful stroke of luck by Dalai Lama. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have by Maya Angelou. Dream big and dare to fail by Norman Vaughan. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter by Martin Luther King Jr. If you do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always gotten by Tony Robbins. Dreaming, after all, is a form of planning by Gloria Steinem. It's your place in the world. It's your life. Go on and do all you can with it. Make it the life that you want to live by Mae Jemison. You may be disappointed if you fail, but you are doomed if you don't try by Beverly Sills. Remember, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent by Eleanor Roosevelt. Life is what we make it. It always has been and it always will be by Grandma Moses. The question isn't who is going to let me. The question is who is going to stop me by Ayn Rand. When everything seems to be going against you, remember the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it by Henry Ford. It's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years by Abraham Lincoln. Change your thoughts and you change your world by Norman Vincent Peale. Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing by Benjamin Franklin. The only way to do great work is to love what you do by Steve Jobs. If you can dream it, you can achieve it by Zig Ziglar. My mother always told me that happiness was the key to life. When I went to school, the teacher asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wrote down happy. The teacher said, "You didn't understand the assignment." And in return, I told them they didn't understand life by John Lennon. When one door of happiness closes, another one opens for us. But often we look at the closed door so much that we do not see the door that has been opened for us. By Helen Keller.